What's up guys, today I'm going to show you how we built a fully automated LinkedIn outreach system using AI and no-code tools. So let's go. But first let me introduce myself. My name is Thomas, you can call me Deli. And at DL Automations we help businesses run more efficient through workflows with use of AI of course. And if you have any questions throughout the video, please drop them in the comments or you can book in a free call with us to go over the whole workflow again. We're happy to help you, so let's get started. Okay, so as you can see I put a couple of logos on here. These are the apps we're going to use today. Everything is going to be built in NAN, which is a workflow builder. You can also use make.com or Zapier. Those work fine as well. Today we're using NAN though. And we're going to start with a job form, which is a form making platform. There we're going to fill in the description of the LinkedIn accounts that we want to scrape. Then next up we're going to use OpenAI to generate a Apollo search URL. This URL we're going to be using to scrape LinkedIn data or LinkedIn accounts. But Apollo is pretty pricey, so that's why we're going to use Appify, which is another scraper, like a big scraping platform. We're going to use Appify to scrape from Apollo, so we're scraping twice. Then after we scrape the LinkedIn profiles, we're going to put those profiles into a Google Sheets, and then we're going to download a CSV file and put it into Prosp.ai, where we're going to automate the personalized messaging and even send voice notes if we want to. So that's going to be the whole workflow. And of course we need a LinkedIn profile to send out the messages. You can use multiple LinkedIn profiles with Prosp.ai. It's a pretty cool tool, but we're going to be explaining everything. So we're going to be having 6 steps. I'll be guiding you through them, and yeah, let's go. But before we begin anything, we should know why we're building this. Like, why is this a beneficial workflow? There are 4 reasons why this workflow is beneficial. First of all, it saves time, of course. And we all know that time is money. So if you can save time for yourself doing LinkedIn outreach, or for another business, for example, recruitment agencies, to save time with the outreach, then that's of course valuable. Now this workflow can also save money, because if you want to have a similar outcome without this workflow, then you would need like a premium or a very premium LinkedIn account. I think it's called LinkedIn Sales Navigator, but I'm not even sure if you can do automated outreach there. But if you would subscribe to Sales Navigator on LinkedIn, it will cost you way more than this workflow is going to cost you. To be honest, the most expensive thing about this workflow is going to be NAN and having a ChatGPT Plus account, but that's about it. Then number 3, this is very scalable. You can scrape as many accounts as you want. So that means if you want to scrape 1,000 LinkedIn profiles and do outreach to them, you can do that. And if you want to do that manually, well, it would take you probably weeks or even months to do that. So that's why this workflow is very scalable. But you do have to watch out, because LinkedIn is very strict on automated messaging. So I would not recommend sending too many automated messages per day, but we'll get into that later. And then of course it saves effort, because as I just said, doing all that stuff manually is not really worth it. The only thing you have to do here is fill in a form, download a CSV file from your Google Sheets with the information of the LinkedIn profiles, and then put it into Prosp.ai. Well, if that's too much effort for you, then I don't know why you're watching this video, but to me that sounds like it's no effort, and that means you can spend time with your kids or making your own business or watching anime, whatever. Doesn't matter, but it does save effort, it saves time, it saves money, and it's very scalable. So to me that sounds valuable. If you agree and want to get free value, then well, keep watching this video. Alright, so now that we have established why this workflow is beneficial, we need to go over who can actually benefit from this workflow. Well, I kind of mentioned it already, but a person that can benefit from this workflow is you. You yourself. Yes, you can use this workflow yourself to do some LinkedIn outreach if you want to grow your network, or if you want to reach new clients, for example. You can do this automatically without wasting time making personalized messages or looking up profiles. All that stuff is all automated, so you can definitely benefit from this. But if you're like me and you want to help other businesses, like for example recruitment agencies, then you can also sell this workflow to them or help them set it up. And that's what we actually did. We helped a small recruitment agency. He was actually working with 2 people. When you're running a recruitment agency with only 2 people, then you don't really have too much time on your hands to do all of the LinkedIn outreach. So they would do it all manually, which would take way too much time, and we came in, helped them set it up automatically, and now to this day they're still using it. So if you run a recruitment agency, we can also help you with this, or you can just watch this video and you can set it up yourself. But of course let us know if you want us to help you with setting it up. You can book in a call in the description and we'll gladly help you. Alright, so we went over which apps we're going to use, we went over why this is beneficial, we went over who can benefit from it. Now let's get into the build. So yeah, how do we actually build this workflow? As I said, it's going to be 6 steps, fairly easy. I'm going to be showing you everything. If things are going too fast, please pause the video, and also do not get scared if you see any code or text that you do not understand. Look, I'm not a coder myself. I'm not a technical guy in any way. So if I can do it, you can do it too. Just pause the video, play it in slow-mo, do whatever. Take your time, really trying to understand what each step means and why we're doing it. If you do not care about the steps and you just want to see the workflow in action, then please go to the end of the video and I will show you. But yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go over every single app separately, and then in the end we're gonna connect everything together in NAN. The reason why I'm doing this is just because I want to show you how the apps work separately. Then we're gonna connect everything and then it will make more sense in the end instead of already throwing everything together. That might be a bit overwhelming. So let's go over every step separately. So first thing we gotta do is we gotta look for what kind of profiles do we even wanna scrape. Do we wanna scrape LinkedIn profiles from software engineers, or do we wanna scrape LinkedIn profiles from garbage men, or from real estate agents, or from teachers? We can do it all, but the workflow needs to know what kind of profiles do we want. So that's where we are going to create a form. We're going to put in natural language what we're looking for, and that's going to be the first step. So let's go into job form. You can use job form, you can use type form. Today I'm using job form. So let's go to jobform.com. I already made an account. If you have not, then do your thing. I believe JotForm is free for the first 100 response of your form. After that, you gotta upgrade to 20 bucks a month. I don't think you're gonna be using this workflow more than 100 times a month, but yeah, if you want to upgrade or scale, then you can do that. Anyway, we're gonna go over create form. Start from scratch. I would say card form. Alright, so once you're in the form creator, you're gonna go to add element. You're gonna scroll down and you see long text right here. Here is gonna be the question, so it will be what kind of candidates are you looking for? And then I would say right here, just please give a clear explanation in plain English of what your candidate. Now, when you're using this for yourself, of course, it doesn't really matter what you put here. But if you're going to sell this workflow to someone else, then they need to know what to fill in here. But for us, we know what we want. So this is good for now. You can check it out. Let's copy the link. Let's go here. Press start. So we're gonna submit this. It works, as you can see. All right, so we made the form. Let's go into step number 2, which is gonna be, we're gonna have to create a search URL for Apollo from this description that we just gave in this form. So how are we going to do that? We're gonna use ChatGPT, of course, because it's great in doing this. Actually, we're gonna go over to NAN already because I have to build this in NAN. So let's go to NAN right now, nan.io. If you don't have an account, please sign in. As you can see, I already made the whole workflow, but that's fine. We're gonna go over every step, don't worry. So I already made the job form trigger right here. If you're starting from scratch, just type in job form trigger. Then you're gonna have to select your job form account using your API. If you do not have this yet, you go to edit and you paste in your API key in here. Let me show you right here. You go to settings, you go to API, and then you create a new API key. Click create new API key. In this case, I would use this one. You copy this, but you paste it in here. Once you've done that, you select your form ID right here. I will fill in the form for you guys again because I used a different form, but let me fill in this form again for you guys, so just so you can see if it works or not. And we're gonna be testing the workflow. So now whenever this form is going to be filled in, it's going to transfer the data to NAN. Don't worry, this is Dutch, but it basically says the same as we just typed in English. I'm looking for senior software engineers in Canada that speak English and work for a company with over 100 employees. Something like that. Alright, we're going to submit it. And as you can see here, it got the data. So I'm looking for senior software engineers in Canada that speak English and work for a company with over 100 employees. We got that down. So now we're going to use this text and we're going to let ChatGPT make a search URL for Apollo. Now I'm going to show you real quick what Apollo is. We're going to log in real quick. So with Apollo, I can look up any LinkedIn profiles. Let's say for now I'm looking for, let's just do software engineers again. And let's do Canada. So right here it gave 5.2k results. These are all the LinkedIn profiles. But basically what this node is going to do, it's gonna turn this text into a URL like this. So whenever we want to scrape this page with Epify, which is another scraper, then it knows it has to scrape from this search URL. So that's why we have to create a search URL in ChatGPT first. So how are we going to do that? First, you're gonna make an OpenAI node. You're gonna select your credentials. You're gonna use message model, choose from the list. I'd say GPT-4o Mini is good for this. You don't need the more expensive LLMs. This one is fine. You're not giving it any crazy tasks. You're just making a search URL from natural language, which is not that hard. So you don't have to use expensive GPT model. Oh, I put this in Dutch, but basically what you type in here is you're a helpful sales agent. Role is gonna be system, which is fine. Then the prompt right here will be, okay, fuck's sake, I have to translate everything. Okay, so I already made the prompt, but you can copy it. I'm gonna go over everything, just pause it. Alright, so you're tasked to take a natural language description of the candidate target group as input and convert it into an Apollo search URL. I gave an example of an Apollo search URL, so it was this one. Just so the model knows what it should turn the natural language into. Then I'm gonna tell it that this URL describes a search for people who are software engineers that live in Canada. Then I'm gonna tell it that it is allowed to change these fields, but also add fields such as management level or job title or previous job titles. Then I'm gonna tell it to put it in JSON format like this. So search URL, and then the search URL goes here. This text is additional. You do not have to add it. Actually, for every description, determine which keyword will generate the most accurate results in the Apollo search URL. This is kind of necessary, but until this part is the most important. After you've done that, then you're gonna have to give the prompt the JSON. So you're gonna drag it from here and put it in there. I already did it. Then it knows what it has to translate into the Apollo search URL. So that's why you put it here. Pause it, copy all of the settings here, and then we're gonna test this step. All right, so if you've done that, we're gonna test this step and we're gonna look what kind of search URL it's gonna make. Well, there you go. It just made a search URL for Apollo. We're gonna copy it and see how that looks like, just to test if it's valid. As you can see, it's a valid search URL. It came up with more than 9,000 LinkedIn profiles. So let's go back to the drawing board. Where are we now? We just completed step 2. We made a search URL from Apollo. Now we want to scrape the data from this Apollo search. Now again, why do we do this? Because if you want to use Apollo, that's just going to cost you a lot of money. So that's why we're going to use this app called Epify. This is going to be the most tricky part. So stay with me, pause it, play it in slow-mo. But this is going to be the hardest part. So let's do it. All right, so let's go into Epify. Create your account, it's free, and basically what this is just a platform where you can scrape everything in the world. But the specific scraper we're going to use is you're going to type in Apollo and you're going to pick this one. Apollo scraper, scrape up to 50k leads. Now, how are we going to scrape this data from the Apollo search URL? First, we're going to have to look into their API references. We're going to look into a post request. Yes, we're going to run an actor synchronously with input and get dataset items. So with this, we can scrape the data from the Apollo search URL. So what else do we need? We also need a bearer token and also actor ID. Where do we get this actor ID? This actor ID, we can find it right here. It's this JLJ whatever until this part. You copy that, you put it in here. Then we also need a bearer token. This bearer token, we can find it here at our API keys. So you go to settings in Epify, API and integrations. You would create a new token. You can, well, in this case, I would just say YouTube right here. I would copy it, press this little button right here, go back to your thing, and then paste it right there. And you also need a body. For the body, you can just press example, that's fine. So now that we set up this foundation, now we can copy this C URL. Let's go into NAN and type in HTTP request, then paste it into here, then press import. I already did this. If you want to understand all of the technical stuff behind this, I'm not going to explain it to you because it's just no need, but just copy everything that I'm doing. Again, go in slow-mo. But once you've done that, you would see that this API has the right actor token, this part right here, which we went over. Authentication, we don't need none of that. But this part is important. Here you're gonna put the same API key that you copied here, you're gonna copy it again and you're gonna put it here. So the thing is, it's gonna say bearer already. then it's gonna have one space, and then you're gonna put your API key in there. That's necessary, otherwise this whole thing is not gonna work. Then there's one more thing we need to do. We're gonna have to specify the body using JSON. So instead of using fields below, you're gonna press using JSON, and the JSON we're gonna need here is actually right here. So you're gonna go to your actor again, right here in this section. You're gonna press input, then press JSON, and you're gonna copy this JSON right here, copy, and then you're gonna paste it in right here. And that's it. Now it's all set up. We can check it out right now. This was a tough part. Please go over it again. I went through all the steps, so just go in slow-mo. Let me unpin this and test it for you guys. Also, when you're getting the records, as you can see, in Apollo, it had like more than 9,000 records, but if you're gonna scrape all the 9,000 records, that's just too much. So I would like do a max of 1,000 records, but you can change this number right here, and that decides how many LinkedIn profiles you're gonna scrape from Apollo. So as you can see, it gave me 100 items for some reason. I don't know why, but in this case, it's enough. I don't need more than 100 items. It's fine. Okay, so let's go into step number 4. What have we done so far? We've filled in a job form, we've connected it with OpenAI, then we have made a search URL from it and scraped the leads from Apollo using Epify. And now we're gonna use the whole list of LinkedIn candidates and we're gonna put it into a Google Sheets. Now, why are we doing this? Because what we wanna do is we wanna import all of these LinkedIn profiles quickly into Prosp.ai. And how are we going to do this? Well, we need a CSV file, and what we can easily do is create a Google Sheet and then download this Google Sheet as a CSV file, which we can then upload into Prosp.ai. So let's go over it. So we're gonna go into Google Sheets. If you don't have an account, what are you doing? You need Google Sheets, come on. Okay, so once you're in Google Sheets, we're gonna make a new sheet. We're gonna give it a, well, in this case I'm gonna say YouTube, but whatever, please give it a good name. In this case, we're gonna name this sheet Software Engineers Canada, just to keep it organized. Okay, so that is saved. Now we're gonna go to NaN, we're gonna press a new node, we're gonna look up Google Sheets, we're gonna press append or update row in sheet. It's gonna look like this. I already set this up, so I already connected the Google Sheets account. It's very easy. If you've not done that, please, you have to do it right here. Resource gonna be sheet within a document. Append or update row, of course. Now here you're gonna use your select the list. In this case, I'm gonna do YouTube. I will select software engineers in Canada. As you can see, it's gonna be this sheet then. But there are no columns found in Google Sheets. So how can we fix this? Well, we're gonna copy this right here. Copy. We're gonna go into ChatGPT. Then we're gonna paste this and ask it to turn this into headers so I can use it for my Google Sheets. I want to copy paste it in. There you go. Then you're gonna copy this, go to Google Sheets, paste. Then you're gonna do you're gonna press data and then split text into columns, and now we have all of these columns separate. So now it's saved. We're gonna refresh this, and now we have these headers that are made right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna map it. Now you could map it automatically, but I do not like doing that because sometimes it just gets messy. So I will map it for you manually. So we're gonna drag everything at the place where it's supposed to be. Name, link the URL, title, person ID, organization name, organization ID. Yeah, we leave that one out. Yeah, I don't know. This one. Refresh. Does it match? It does. Okay, headline. Need that one. That's important. Photo URL. Address. Anything UID doesn't matter. Extrapolated. Doesn't matter. See. State. Why not? Email status. Sure. Phone number. Email, of course. HubSpot and Twitter. I don't know if I can care. Okay. Let's remove all the ones that I don't want, just so everything stays clean. Okay, that's done. Now we're gonna refresh it again. Okay, everything is mapped correctly. Now we're gonna test this step, see what happens. Okay, now what should happen is I should see a big row of LinkedIn profiles. We're gonna see, okay, well, there you go. This whole sheet that was just empty just got filled up with a bunch of LinkedIn profiles with their names, all of that stuff. So Honestly, we could stop right here and you already have a crazy list of of senior software engineers in Canada. This is value on itself, but we're gonna add another step because we want to send messages to them and we're not gonna do that manually. We want to automate this process. So let's go back to the drawing board. So we completed this step. Next step, we're going to make a CSV file out of this and put it into Prosp.ai. How do we do this? Well, we're gonna go to file, we're gonna download and then select comma separated values, CSV. It's gonna download YouTube Software Engineers Canada. Yep, that's what I want. Then we're gonna open Prosp.ai. I already made my account. Once you've loaded up your account, we're gonna go into create campaign. The campaign name is gonna be Software Engineers Canada, right? So right here, we're gonna get a few options on how we want to add a list of LinkedIn profiles that we want to send messages to. And in our case, since we have a CSV file, we're gonna use the import from CSV to import the LinkedIn profiles. This CSV I have right here, we're gonna drag it in. It's gonna say it found 100 contacts with a valid LinkedIn profile, so that's great. We're gonna press extract and import. All right, so we're gonna have to map it again. This one's already set correctly. The email, we're gonna have to put email, ID, doesn't matter. First name, last name, doesn't matter. Title, we say job title, person ID, doesn't matter. Organization name, leaves. Is that an option? Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, yeah. It's directly for URL. Description. Doesn't look like it. Maybe no address on that. Okay. Alright, so we imported all of the files. Now we're going to go over to the sixth and last step, which is going to be setting up your campaign and starting your outreach in Prosp.ai. Now guys, let me tell you, this app, it's crazy. You can send voice notes. You can clone your voice to make it sound like you actually spoke, but you didn't even say anything. Like it's crazy. So let me show you. Just play around with it because every person has a different way of reaching out. If you want to make your own build, go ahead. Try stuff out in Prosp.ai, but I'm going to show you this short little build. So let's go. So once you've mapped everything, then you're going to create a new list. YouTube. Then it's going to put us into the builder. As you can see, it says start the campaign of 100 contacts. It's going to load in. Yep. So all of these contacts are right here. Yep. So now we can decide how we want to do the outreach. Now, typically, this is already like pre-made by Prosp.ai, so I guess this is the best way to do it. But the main thing you gotta do is make sure that LinkedIn doesn't flag your profile or detects that it's automated. So visiting a LinkedIn profile is not sus. Liking a user LinkedIn post is not sus at all. Then we're gonna send a LinkedIn connection request, and then we're gonna send the message. Now, this is where it gets interesting because we can actually prompt it so it gives a personalized message for every single contact. So what we can do is we can select from pre-made prompts. A lot of runs on this one. Let's just use this one. So it's crazy. You can read it for yourself, but basically what it does is AI is going to go over this profile. It's going to read it and then it's going to make a profile observation. Now, if that's not crazy, then I don't know what is. And then it's going to also make a short little anecdotes saying, I saw you're doing X, and then it's going to replace X with any information about the lead or its company. This is crazy, guys. You can send perfect messages just like you or I wrote it. It's crazy, but you can basically personalize everything here. You can even send a voice note. Like, how crazy is that? Please test this out. We know that it works. Even the voice notes are very good quality. You can even clone your own voice with AI in this app. It's crazy. Only thing you gotta do is watch out to not get banned. So I would say do not send more than 20 messages a day. So this would mean you could send this whole list. Within 5 days you can send them all a message. And then it's gonna wait for 1 day and then send them another message if they replied or not. And then it's all gonna be automated. And then of course if you wanna add other actions, you can do that here. Of course, wait X amount of days. I wanted to wait, I don't know, fucking 6 days before it sends another message. Then you can do that just to go under the radar of the LinkedIn monitoring system. Please play around in this. Alright guys, so that has been the whole workflow. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, or leave a comment if you have any questions. We respond to every comment. If you do not understand any steps, please go over it again or book in a call with us, because yeah, we're here to help. Even if you have a business and you want this implemented into your business, then also let us know. We can help you out setting this up. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked the video, and we'll see you on Sunday with the update video. Peace.